Welcome to Commander Tilt. My name is Clark. Let me say just a little bit about this channel. I do custom Magic the Gathering gameplay videos. I feature decks that I have built myself, and then they go against each other in a bracket style competition, hoping to determine which deck does the best job at, creating synergies and being, powerful and victorious. A couple of other notes that I sometimes forget to mention. One of the core anchors of my channel is that I like the cards to be really big on the screen, because I've watched too many gameplay videos where they show the card and it's this big and I don't know what it does, and I can't even read it if I scan in really close. Like, I can't read it, so I have to pause the video and go to like Scryfall or someplace and look up the card to figure out what it does. So just as part of my channel, I try to make the cards really big so they're easy to see and easy to read so that you know what the cards do. I also try to focus on short videos. I just will not click on a video that's 3 hours in length. I won't. I don't have that much time. So you'll notice I try to keep my videos under 30 minutes every single time, because I feel like that's more reasonable for me to sit down and watch myself. Now, today's video is a little bit different. I say it's a little different because I've shown the bracket system for this Rush Tilt competition. Remember, Rush is a 30-card format with 10 life. And I've shown the bracket that I prepared. But between the filming of the last video and the editing of the last video, I actually got in my head, you know what, I'm going to try to do some 3-color decks. And I thought, the 3-color decks aren't going to work because, the fixing is going to be so tough. And I don't know if it's going to work, but the one thing I suddenly thought about was, what about those lands that give you 1 life when they come into play tapped? Yeah, you've got a tempo hit, but 1 life at 10 life is 10% of your life. You get a 10% boost in life. You go from 10 to 11. So I thought, well, yeah, we're going to be really slow in the first 3 or 4 turns while we're trying to ramp. But if we can build up from 10 to 14 or 15 in that period, well, then, it makes sense all of a sudden, perhaps, this kind of deck would work. And there are so many great value cards that are in those 3 colors. So I searched through all of my cards with 3 colors, and the one card that stuck out the most for me was Ruhan of the Fomori. Hitting the ground on, say, turn 4 or 5 with a 7/7. It has to attack a random opponent, but the random opponent's always going to be your one opponent. I think this is a great card for this format. Now, will it work? I don't know, but we're going to try it out. So I was only able to really find 2 tricolor decks that I thought would really work. So I created those 2 decks, and then I redid the bracket system. I also was looking at my red deck, and I didn't think it was strong enough to warrant an automatic 1 seed. But honestly, the seeds don't matter that much. So I just re-rolled the seeding for all 7 remaining decks. And, because I have an extra deck, we're doing a play-in for the 16th slot. So the play-ins that we're going to do today is Black versus Jeskai. The Black deck is a deathtouch deck, and the Jeskai deck is around the card, like I said, Ruhan of the Fomori. And then another one of my absolute favorite cards, I love Mantis Rider. I think it's such a cool card. For 3 mana, a 3/3 with 3 relevant keywords, flying, vigilance, and haste. It's such a great card. I love it so much. So with that in mind, we're going to get started on the battle, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, to get started, I'm going to roll some dice. Looks like the Jeskai deck won, so Jeskai's going to go first. Jeskai puts down a Tranquil Cove, gaining a life, and then we'll pass the turn. The Black deck puts down a Swamp, of course, and then passes the turn with no 1-drops. Jeskai will put down Windscarred Crag, gaining another life, but then with no 1-drops, passing the turn. Black will put down a Swamp, and then tapping 2 mana, we'll put out Pulse Tracker and Hired Poisoner, and I'll pass the turn. Jeskai will untap. We'll put down Mystic Monastery, but it comes into play tapped. With no 2-drops, we again have to pass the turn. Black will put down a Swamp, and then moving to combat, we'll swing with both creatures. Pulse Tracker hits for an additional damage. Jeskai will tap 2 mana for Azorius Charm and put one of the attacking creatures back on the top of the library, which means the Pulse Tracker will do 2 damage, 1 for an elf attacking and 1 because it's a 1/1 with no blockers. And with that, black will go ahead and tap a single black mana for a serrated scorpion and pass the turn. Jeskai will untap. We'll put down another Mystic Monastery. There's only 2 in the deck, of course. And then we'll tap 3 mana for Sky Knight Legionnaire, which has haste and flying. Move into combat, we'll swing for 2 damage and pass the turn. Black will untap. Black will put down a swamp. And then we're going to tap 1 mana for Hired Poisoner. And then another mana for another Hired Poisoner. Moving to combat, we'll swing with our 2 creatures with no blockers that deals 3 damage to Jeskai. And then we're going to go ahead and tap the mana for Vicious Rumors, which deals 1 damage, gains black a life, and causes Jeskai to discard a card and mill a card. Pretty good value for 1 mana. Jeskai will untap. Jeskai will then put down an island as his land for turn. Then we're going to tap 3 mana for Zurzoth Chaos Rider. Moving to combat, we'll swing with the Legionnaire, doing 2 damage in the air, and pass the turn. Black will untap. Taking our draw, black will go ahead and put down a swamp. Oh yeah, because we drew a card, Zurzoth triggers, and creates a 1/1 devil token creature that does a damage when it dies. Black's going to put Deathtouch onto Zurzoth, and then spending 2 mana cast Smother on Zurzoth, which is a combo. This causes Deathtouch to trigger, and Jeskai will lose 2 life, and black will gain 3 life, because Zurzoth was a 2/3. Next, with no blockers, we're going to swing with all our creatures, doing 5 damage, and black wins the first round. Second round, black will go first, put down a swamp, and then pass the turn. Jeskai will put down a Mystic Monastery tapped and pass the turn. Black will put down a swamp, and then tapping 2 mana, we'll put down Serrated Scorpion and Hired Poisoner and pass the turn. Jeskai will put down a Plains. Then we're going to tap both of our mana for a turn 2 Blood Rage Brawler. Because it entered the battlefield, we have to discard a card. And then we're going to pass the turn. Black's going to put down a swamp, of course. Then we're going to tap 2 mana for Smother, killing the Blood Rage Boiler. With no blockers, black can attack with all of its creatures, dealing 2 damage. And then, tapping the remaining mana, cast Vicious Rumors, which again causes black to gain a life, Jeskai to lose a life, then Jeskai has to discard a card and mill a card. Black will pass. Jeskai will draw, put down Tranquil Cove, which gains us a life. Then we'll pass the turn with no 2-drops. Black will untap, put down a swamp as its land for turn. Moving to combat, we'll swing with both creatures. With no blockers, we do 2 more damage. Then we'll tap all of our mana for a Hired Poisoner and the remaining for Vampire Nighthawk. And pass the turn. Jeskai will untap. Jeskai will put down a mountain. And then we're going to tap all of our mana for Sky Knight Legionnaire and Wingcrafter. But we don't have to soulbond anything because they both fly. Then we'll pass the turn. Black will untap. Black will put down a swamp. Next, we're going to swing with all of our creatures. All of them have Deathtouch except the Vampire Nighthawk. No, all of them have Deathtouch. So going to blocks, Jeskai will take out, trade one for one of the 1/1 flyers, and the rest of the damage gets through. Vampire Nighthawk has lifelink, so Jeskai is going to lose, and Vampire Nighthawk will cause black to gain 2 life. Jeskai will put down a island, and then play a Mantis Rider and raise the alarm. putting out 2 soldiers. Feeling a little fortified now. We've got 4 creatures on the board. Perhaps we can block. In fact, we'll go ahead and swing with the Sky Knight Legionnaire for 2 damage and pass the turn. Black will untap. Black will put down a swamp, and then tap 2 mana, put down a Karsi Sadist, and using the exploit trigger, kill the Serrated Scorpion. The exploit deals 2 damage, and then the Serrated Scorpion dies, triggers, and deals 2 more damage. And with that, Black wins the second battle, and Black wins the whole competition. And with that, the battle comes to an end, and Black has cleared the first hurdle and it moves on to the next round. So, as you can see from this bracket, that actually puts Black up against White, which is kind of a funny little combination of darkness versus light. So, I don't know for sure which battle. I think I'm going to go ahead and film that Black versus White battle next. I think that'll be a fun little deal to see how that goes. So I sure appreciate you watching this video. It's been a lot of fun doing this Rush competition, and have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I do have a Patreon page, and I would love it if you would visit my page and take a look at the rewards that are available. It would help me out a lot. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you hear about my latest videos. Have a great day.